Hello, and welcome to the We Are Power podcast. If this is your first time here, the We Are Power podcast is the podcast for you, your career, and your life. We release an episode every single Monday with listeners in over 60 countries worldwide, where you'll hear personal life stories, top-notch industry advice, and key leadership insight from amazing role models. As We Are Power is the umbrella brand to Northern Empowerment Awards, which celebrates hundreds of female role models and advocates every year. This is where you can hear stories from all of our awards alumni and stay up to date with everything MPW Awards and We Are Power. Well, hello. This week I am joined by, do you know what? I have no idea in the world how I'm even going to introduce you, Jill Ashcroft, other than Jill Ashcroft, superpower woman, Powerlister 2025, finalist. And then how would you describe yourself?
Humanitarian, actually. I bet you weren't actually expecting
I was
that.
not.
I was philanthropist, but when you have that on your title, every person brings you up to...
For dollar bills.
Yes. So I've learned that lesson the hard way, and now I'm a humanitarian. And yeah, I'd like to come away from things that are financially labelled. Do you know what I mean? So it's not me.
But you started, how did you, because you've owned bars, restaurants, care sector.
Beauty
salons.
Entertainment centres, family entertainment centres. I've property right the way up from Dubai to Utah. You name it, I've done it, really. I've got sites all over the country, and yeah, I'm just, I've just turned 40, and I'm proud to say that, because women at 40 are the most confident, the most sexiest, and just amazing. So I'm not shy to say I'm in my 40s, and I feel like I've lived 10 people's lives.
And we've got your daughter in the studio studio here with us today. What were you like at Emmy's age?
Really, I don't know whether this podcast might go downhill. I was so naughty. I was like a younger version of Del Boy. Like, literally. I'm from the inner city. You know, I grew up, if everyone remembers Langley, there was Langley, that's not far from my family, lived in the flats in Langley. Me nan and my other side of the family were from Scotland Road. And I was just wild. And I think that's the entrepreneur in me, because I'm a risk taker. I like the adrenaline. I like the rush. But I needed to channel it into a positive way, because it's learned behaviour, isn't it? You know, you learn from your environment. So I was a little tea leaf. I only like stupid stuff like Rob and Glitter from Woolworths, and like socks for school and stuff, and scrunchies. But I just loved it. I loved the rush. You know, I'd get going and I'd rob some pens, and I think I was like gangster number one. But I was a nightmare. I really was. But I never hated anybody. I was always the person that would stop the bullies in school. And if there was a kid who was getting bullied, even though I was quite cool, I'd always stand up for everybody. So I always made sure I looked after everyone. My heart was always there. I just needed to channel everything else. And do you know what? Actually, I will say it. And I used to, my dad only found this out the other week because my sister snitched. And he's a taxi driver. He's been a taxi driver for years. Like since he was in his 20s, and he used to remember Ford vouchers. Do you remember the Ford vouchers? His friend used to work for Ford, so he used to get a brand new car every 12 months, and it was his pride and joy. Right, we moved out into Aintree when I was younger, but I still brought myself back to the inner city constantly. So we were very looked after in a way. You know, my mum and dad worked very hard, and the house where we used to live in had it was a corner house, so the side street, the car used to be parked there, so you couldn't see it. So my dad used to work nights, and at the age of 14, I used to take that car out all the time. That's how naughty I was. I just never had any kind of sense of consequence. And I remember one day I crashed it into a red car, in the Asda car park, and I was tea-cutting the hell out of that car at 2 o'clock in the morning. That was Jill as a younger version. I always had a job that started off in market stalls, McDonald's. I was 16 and got offered a manager position. That's anything I did, I excelled in. And then I worked in the jewellers, was it WH? No, it's not WH Smith. The jewellers in Church Street. And then, but actually before that, I was 14 and worked in St John's Market in City Trainers. And I worked from 8 in the morning till 6 at night for £20. And I used to travel an hour there and an hour back. So I've always been a little, I've always been wanting more.
To do. Always been a grafter.
I have, whether it was good or bad, I didn't care at that point. And then I worked for DFS when I was 18. And I was so naughty, I used to sign in, get off, and come back and clock out. And this is the turning point for me. And there was a girl there, and that was her life career. And I got offered the manager's position, and she never. And you know what? That's when I really felt like this is wrong. This is Jill. That childish behaviour needs to stop, because she congratulated me, and it's to this day, it wounds me, because that's not who I am as a person. I was just naughty, and I was just adventurous, and I'm still naughty now, but in a good way. And I was a risk taker, and I just wanted, I don't know, it was the thrill without thinking about what you were actually doing. So it was very unconsciously aware. I was unconsciously aware of my actions. And I remember, and she was gutted, and I thought, I've took her job, and she works so hard, and I just do whatever I do, and I do it very well. And I just blended it, basically. And I actually resigned, and I vowed from that day that I was going to be a different person and channel it the right way. And then that's when I got my first 2 properties, literally a few months after that. And it was the property boom. And I think I bought them for 80,000, and I made 200,000 on 2 properties. And then I took that money, I was on holiday just randomly in Utah skiing. And my husband, I've been with my husband since I was 17. Literally, that's, I could have killed someone twice and got out twice now. And I do think about it quite often when I look at him. But we went skiing in Salt Lake City, and I ended up buying a piece of land. I made £500,000 on the piece of land, and I was off. That was it. And that's the start of my journey.
And what did you do with that? You talked about the defining moment at DFS where, and you were like, right, you know what? No, do you know what? It's not good. I'm going to do good in this. So you invested in property. You would like the look of the gods behind you, right? Yeah.
All my life has been a puzzle, literally has. It's these definitely I'm getting watched over. These things in my life that have happened where it's somewhat I know. And I'm not I'm not very religious, but I do think there's, a higher power, and I do believe that, there's more to this life. I actually think this is hell. And we moved to heaven. We moved to where we're meant to be after it. But I do believe in all that, and these things, these people that I've met in terms of spiritualists and stuff, and these are the ones that are blaggers, but there was one in particular, and he was honestly, only I know, to the point of where he told me, my nan was there, and he said, your nan said, will you stop going on about your nose job? I mean, who knows that? He knew about other surgery I've had, which, I'm not going to go into, but I do love, I love a little bit of surgery. And he knew about things and investigations that were going on at the time in my life, which I don't mind talking about. He knew things, and I know she was watching over me, and I know things that have happened are because of someone looking over me. But yeah, I do feel like everything is being mapped out for me. And I've known that since I was 12. I knew when I was 12 that I went a 9 to 5. I knew that there was a bigger purpose. I'm here for a reason.
So you talked about someone watching over you, your nan. I always think of my nan, my grandparents, Northern Power Nana.
Yeah.
That sense of faith, that belief, it doesn't have to be religion, but there's a sense of that 100%. Knowing that there's
You're going to laugh at this, right? My nan, of a Sunday, it was a proper Scouse family, and there must have been about 20 grandkids. I do not know how she fed us all from that one chicken. Honestly, I don't. She should be on the power list of what she can do with one chicken. I'm not joking. And it was we all got fed, but my job was to throw the cabbage down the toilet. Right, so the pot of cabbage after everyone's finished, and it stunk, right? So her bathroom smelled like peaches. I can't even believe we're going into this. Her bathroom smelled like peaches. I have actually never told anyone this, so you're all the first to hear about my nan's peaches, cheap peach bathroom. And the smell, I didn't realise, but there was I nearly died in childbirth, really bad. I was on barrier nursing from my last child, and I was in the bed, and the night before, I flatlined, and the night before, my bedroom stunk of peaches. And the minute it did, because I always remember thinking, thank God it smells like peaches when I'm throwing this cabbage down, because the cabbage was ugh. And it was it, because my whole room just smelled like peaches. And the first thing that come to my mind was my nan's bathroom. And then that next morning is when I got streptococcal virus, but the life-threatening one, and it got into my womb. And I ended up flatlining, and it was I actually could get upset talking about it, to be honest. But it was get the baby out and at least the baby will survive. But I don't even know why I went upset, but it makes good viewing, doesn't it? And I was on Barry and nursing for a week. And the virus got to the end of the umbilical cord. And this is actually, I'll bring it all back and we'll go back to, what we want to talk about with someone looking after me. The day that I got brought into hospital, an hour before, the doctor that I should have had that was on shift had gone off sick from shift. And the only replacement they could get was this one doctor who's never worked in Ormskirk Hospital before. And the doctor lost a pregnant woman the week before to the same virus. And the virus is like 1 in every billion or one. It's just crazy, percentages of how low or how uncommon this virus is. And if it weren't for him coming on shift an hour before I got brought in, by the way, I got brought in a wheelchair. At this point, I was gone. He knew straight away. He said, get it on 5 antibiotic intravenous drips and just hope for the best. He said, don't bother with blood. He knew what it was. No one would have known in the hospital. I would have been dead. How mental is that? That doctor come an hour before who's never been in the hospital, and then that night I smell peaches. My whole life has been like that. I know she's here. And when I'm naughty, because I am like work hard, play hard, and I just my personality, and I think it's the inner beast, isn't it? It's the good. Which one are you going to choose? The good wolf or the bad wolf? And every morning, and when I choose the bad wolf, she haunts me. I'm not. No, listen, I am not joking. To the point where taps come on, all my light, no matter what room I'm in, all my lights flash on and off. It's like, okay, Nan, I'll start being good.
Nana brings her peaches on.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right, Simone.
It does not.
Nana, get your peaches
that's
out.
probably no good if you're listening on the podcast right now.
So there you go.
So how did you get into the social sector, the social care sector?
Wow, so this is
with the peaches. Was Nanny?
With Nan. Do you know what? Right, it was. I'm not like money driven. Like I do have a nice car, I have nice things and stuff. But for me, it's a bit. I feel like you're getting summificated. There's only so much stuff you can buy. It's like it's empty. And for me, it's like to actually change someone's life and to see someone. Obviously, it's always their input as well. But to leave that legacy or to have that input on changing someone's life, that's priceless. So I had a family entertainment centre. And there was one customer. This is when you need to get out of customer service. I'm not actually going to say what I said to her because you'd have to go bleep, bleep, bleep. She was moaning about how a cheese weren't melted on the chips. And basically, she got told where to go. And I was like, you know what? These children starving. I think people that come to people's businesses think that they can talk to staff how they want. They always want something for nothing. I'm not saying everyone, but like majority. I mean, I've been in customer service for a long time. And it was like, when you're actually telling your customers to do one, that's when you need to move on. Because obviously that pays my mortgage, it's my livelihood. And I was like, I'm done. There was criminal investigation as well, which is, it's common. I'm not bothered. Like, I don't stop being around people. I've grew up in the inner city. Most people from the inner city, the only way that they can make money is through criminal activity, because unfortunately it's people are kept in a certain bracket and other people are kept in another bracket, and that's we have definitions, don't we, in classes, and the working class unfortunately are surrounded by people who want nice things but don't get the opportunities because of the area that they grow up in, and I wanted to change that, and I am changing that, and we'll move on to that. But I felt like this is not for me, and this. I have to say, as I was feeling that there was a big criminal investigation that went on, and I was arrested and I got brought in. I was like Mrs. Bouquet in the cell. Honestly, I was like, I kicked off. I got a brand new refurbished sweat.
What was the investigation for, Jill?
It was a massive. It was like 17 arrests in one morning, or 32 arrests, 17 charges in one morning, and it was a big undercover drugs operation. It was going on for 3 years, and I'll tell you something now, and it's disgusting actually. They come to my home and they arrested me in front of my kids, took me away, not my husband, me. Took me away for money laundering, and got put in a cell. And this is, riot fans all in my streets, the neighbours all out. It was disgusting, and I got put into my cell, and I actually was so like. I actually was very proud of myself because I was so strong where I didn't realise how strong of a person and of a woman I was. You know, even when they come to my house, I worked hard for everything that was in that house. You know, and I had white carpets. Well, they got made to put plastic shoes on. And this is, the camera crew was there. They all come through, arm please, all through my front door. They actually knocked because I just had another baby that was sick as well. And I had electric gates. Sorry, there's the inner city, Lecky gates. And they knocked. And my husband told the neighbours a complaint about the wheelie bin. Oh, no, about the van or the wheelie bin. And I went, Dave, come on, we're not getting all these through the front door because you've left the wheelie bin out. The neighbours were cranks where we live. And so they come into my house. And I just said, no way. I said, they had these army boots on. You know, like the military with black boots. You're not standing all over my carpets because I've worked my butt off for this, for everything that I've got. They actually did it as well. So here's me. This little girl, I was 20... It was 2012, you know, so I was a lot younger, and I just, this inner strength come, and I know that things go missing out of people's houses that get raided. So my dad, I lived in a bungalow. It was a big bungalow, and I had my watches in a drawer with jewellery, and I always kept it in the back kitchen drawer. And I was in my PJs, so I had this, do you remember Topshop? I had this jumper on from I put a jumper on from Topshop, and it was long, and I walked past the drawer, and I got all my jewellery out. Who does this? I mean, like, I'm not even a criminal. Put all my jewellery on. I was like Mr. T. And I thought, no, because the money did go missing out my house. And that was my money from my cash business. And the same for all my friends as well. And it did happen. And I knew that my friends' watches went missing, all kinds. And
so what was the upshot of this?
It was, so this is how bad, getting to my point. Got brought into the cell. Once I knew my jewellery had checked in, I knew that it was on record. So, but I don't, who was this person? I'd never been in trouble with the police in my life. And I didn't even go to the toilet. I refused to go to the prisoner's toilet. So I went to the police's toilet. I caused murder that night. And they brought me in to interview. And they were like, what they said? We know you've not done nothing wrong, right? But we know that you've got information, and we want you to tell us, and we'll protect you. I said, you have just done that in front of my family. You put me through something. And it's emotional, you know, I get upset about it. It's like, you just put me through that. I'm just coming to my home, and this is what you're saying. You know, no comments, you know what I mean? They let me go, no charges. But that I give statements after it, and that comes up now, you know, and, you know, please don't Google it because it's on the last page. It's on page 10. It took me a long time to get that on page 10. But it was like, you know, for me, that was it. It was like, I need to get away from the life that I'd not get away from my friends, but it was because I was in business. They're my best friends. I was in business. It was all about being that association, and the police wanted me to snitch, and it was like, really, you just don't, like, you know, there's plenty of ways to go about things than like railroad someone and then ask them to snitch. I would never do that anyway. But so that was the change. And why, to go back to your question, why I went into social care, because for one, I didn't like people coming and treating people in work the way I was dealing with customers. When you're working really hard, and for another, it was like I needed to change my environment. I needed to do my own thing, and also I've always wanted to help people. So it was the night I got out of the cell. I woke up the next morning, had no experience in care whatsoever, never done a day in care. I downloaded an Ofsted registration pack. Look, I could go on, but I know we've got a time sheet. I become the youngest ever responsible individual to date in the whole care sector. Now, that is someone who's legally responsible in the court of law for the lives of children. And the reason why I actually did get the registration, it was a 9-hour interview. I had 6 weeks to prepare for it. I locked myself into Formby Hall because obviously, you know, I do like me luxuries, you know what I mean? I went going into the travel lodge. And I learned every legislation off by heart, and I smashed that interview. And I've went now from, you know, turning over 200,000 the first year to probably having an organisation that's worth nearly around 50 million. And that's what I did.
What are you most proud of?
Do you know, I can get upset again. I'm so strong, but I really care. So I'm quite an emotional person. Do you know how many letters from children of lives that have changed? Why am I going again? What's wrong with me? It's like, I've had children from the Rotherham inquiry that have come to me at like the age of 12, you know, with whip marks all over them, and where they've been urinated on. And one of them in particular, she's a solicitor now with 2 kids. And that's because she comes to my home. Again, I need to stop crying on this podcast.
It's all good.
Do you know why? Because it's so sad what I see, and to be able to change people's lives, it's just amazing.
But how do you manage that? Because I think to lots of people who know you, and you're multi-award winning, you're up for more awards, and people see that. People see the gloss. People see the gloss and the glamour, and the big wedgie heels. Can't see that on the pod, but you see that. But how do you?
I'm so glad because I don't like toes, but here's my shoes.
But how do you deal with that? What's your fighting power? We've talked about your nan, like being present at certain times. But is there something? Do you have a coping mechanism? Sometimes it's exercise,
no, I
sometimes
don't
it's
cope very well.
meditation.
And I'll be honest, I think everything comes at a cost. And I think right now I'm going through a big change in my life because Jill just does things the hard way and everything's trial and error. I haven't grown up and gone through a professional career where I've gone from promotion to promotion. No one's told me, how to do a supervision, how to be a line manager, how to be a CEO, how to be a managing director. I have literally just learned and I'm tired. I'm tired of trial and error. And you know what? It's so simple. And this will be the best advice that I can give anyone. If you want a successful business, and it will be successful if you listen to this bit of advice, keep it simple. Do what you say on the tin and do it the best than anyone else. No bells and whistles, no dilution, no trying to add-ons because all it does is take your attention away. Focus. Do what you say. So what you say you're going to do, whether you deliver, if you fix toilets, fix them better than anyone else. If you sell fish and chips, make sure they're the best fish and chips that ended around and don't do nothing else. Do you know what I mean? It's for me, I have just gone and I've diluted and the worst, I brought so much chaos because when I opened Exceptional Care, I thought I was a people pleaser. And my, things that have happened to me growing up, I've always doubted my self-worth all the time and I've always exaggerated. I mean, I could never lose. So I remember being 11 and being in a dance competition and so scared to go home and say that I never won. I actually robbed the awards from the cupboard from the year before and went home because I was so I always got brought up. My mum, and I love my mum to bits. She's my best friend as well as my daughter. But she had such a traumatic upbringing. My granddad was just a monster, read between the lines. And she had a really cruel upbringing. And so she always wanted to be hard on me out of love. But it really affected our relationship. And that's why I'm best friends with my daughter and my son and that because I lost a lot. And then I always tried to please and wanted, I think it was 11 A's and A stars all together, or 10 and 1 C. Do you know I got battered over that C? And it was good enough. So then I think that really has an impact on my self-worth.
And I think this whole paying forward thing, maybe sometimes an overused phrase, isn't it? Pay it forward, give back. But that's what you do. And I think one of the things we talked about before the recording today, you put it into practice personally because you talked about you taking your children, your tribe, the massive.
I've got 4 children, everyone.
You're 4 or 5 with the husband,
with the
right?
Husband, obviously. And my mum lives with me.
Something struck me about you take them in because you're learning things at the moment because we'll talk about the app in a minute and we're really excited about the new app. But you taking the kids in and the kids, these are young adults, right? Young entrepreneurs, young business people, but you're taking them in to learn with you as you go because it's not the stuff we get taught in school. So you're really, this paying forward starts at home.
It does. And I think I'm not, I've got my warts and all and the kids know that because I don't cope very well with certain things and it's hard. I'm one person and I said to you before, I'm not talking about money, about label things, but I've got £1 million out on my head every month and that's on my shoulders alone and that's not that's a heavy cross to bear. Not only that, I've got nearly 30 children, the highest risk children in the country's lives on my shoulders, but it's all down to other people's actions. It's not me caring for them, but then it's my responsibility. They're my responsibility in someone else's hands. So these things that I'm not coping with, I don't think I'm not a person to go, oh, it's glamorous, it's fabulous. I'm just this, I'm that. You know what? I'm one of the best people to do what I do. That I know I am one of the best at doing what I do, and I am good, and I am brilliant at what I do. But I'm a human being, and everything comes at a cost, and it impacts my family, it really does. And I've just got to really work on that. So, which leads us nicely. Talking about the self-worth, I'm gonna put this into, I'm gonna round it all up now so we can move on to what's currently going on. My self-worth, it was only 2 years ago that I realised about what I've just said about how to get a successful business. And also everybody's got one thing they do better than everyone else, and it doesn't matter about proving yourself. I wanted to be, oh, I'm amazing at this, I'm amazing at that, I'm amazing at this. Why? Because I was good enough as it was, but I didn't see it, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone thinks I'm great. I opened a recruitment agency, I opened a training company, I opened a tech company, and you know what? They were all run poor. And I'm actually professionally embarrassed because I knew if I just had one or that one, and I did it well, that I would have done it better than anyone else. But I just wanted to be like the big I am, and it was like, and it's sad. It really is sad. And it took me to the age of 38. Winning Great British Entrepreneur of the Year changed my life. It's a massive accolade. And I realised that, you know what? I am actually good to it. I'm good. I don't need to be. So I actually decided to come clean. I'm not a professional because I'm a little nightmare. I am. But that's okay.
You?
I'm not academic. I'm clever. I've got a law degree. You know, I can run circles around any academic. And I'm like a sponge. I am like a sponge. You know, put me in a situation in a week or so, I'll be like I'll know more than the person that's been doing it for 20 years. I'm just like that. But you know what I am good at? I'm real and I'm genuine. And people buy into people. People invest in people. And I had everything already without all the bells and whistles, and I'm more confident than I ever am. I'm still struggling with things, obviously, and you know I'll talk about them openly because because there's so many people going to be watching this podcast that are going to relate to it, and I do these podcasts not because I want to be on a podcast, because I want people to realise they're not alone. They're not alone. There's always someone for someone. There's always support. And I had the radio show, didn't I? And I did that radio show because to highlight the amount of services and support networks that are out there, that even in our city, I didn't know that was there. And I'm not joking. It was an eye opener. But yeah, it's now I'm at that place now in my life where I'm streamlining and I'm making better decisions, smarter, not harder. Everyone, there's always a smarter way and an easier way. Don't do it the Jill way. And I'm more financially better off. But my purpose changed, like everything changed when I was 38 because I realised I am good at what I do and I'm a people person and it's just about me being me. I can connect, I'm a connector, and I could leave a room and everyone will know who I am in a room. Like there could be 500 people in a room, give me half an hour and they'll all know who I am. And not the fact that I grab the limelight, it's just, that's my strength. And you work with that. Right? It's my superpower. And that has then enabled me to reassess my life. And I've got the most successful entrepreneurs in the whole country and my little group of friends. I've always got my lifetime friends, but these are a group that now that I'm around where no one wants nothing from me, but I've got the best connections in the country and it's just snowballed. So yeah, I feel like getting to 40, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's not something to be scared of. We all should be proud of it. And then just believing in yourself and knowing what you do well and keep your business and your life as smart and as slim down as possible. And that's led me to the app.
So tell me about the app, because there's nothing simple about an app.
Well, it is when you've got your own tech team.
Well, there you go.
So I've just been talking about my training company. My training company was never got off the ground. Oh my God, I had £2.5 million later I am in, and it's I was my own money, which is a lot of money because it changed people's lives with. I wanted to create the best training in the sector. So everything I've done really, it's ego. And to be honest with you, when I didn't realise it was ego. And I'm happy saying that, I'm not bothered. But it was also to do better than others for supporting vulnerable people. So it's always had a good art in it, but I also ruined it a bit as well. And for me, it was like I wanted the best recruitment agency because I wanted the best quality staff, because I was using recruitment agencies for my company. So I thought, well, I'll just open my own, because I can do anything. And then I thought, my training company, I thought, right, okay, I'm going to use 3D animation. I'm going to use technology that I got a team that worked for Disney, honestly. And I created 3D animation online training that you actually felt emotion for what you watch. So it went a tick box exercise. It went just like cheapest chips budget training. It takes 6 times on average for a normal brain to retain information. You've got to feel emotionally invested in what you're doing. So if I've got people who are training that actually take away the training and then deliver better care, that's why I did it. But I created my own LMS, which is a learner management system, and I didn't buy off shelf because I wanted to do it in a way that every mistake I've made,
right?
Yeah, because I've made all the mistakes. So if I can build the mistakes in as a preventative in my LMS, then I'm supporting how many other care providers from making the mistakes, which in turn is better quality of care and less. You shouldn't make a mistake on a child's life. So but the people who created it. I brought in an outside company to work with my team. It got 2.5 years later. We launched, and it fell flat on its face because the two main things that what it was coded and what it was built on shouldn't have ever been together. So I had to just build a brand new one.
So is that what you've done now? So what is this new app
So
now?
I've just built a whole new LMS.
And what is that going to do? How many lives is this going to change?
This is going to change. This is going for the Nobel Peace Prize. I'll dead quick. So the LMS now is finished. I've got over 1,000 accredited courses, but I'm closing the company. And this is what I'm doing. So me being smarter, I've got my charity and I've got me tech company. And I thought, well, why don't we put it all together as one? Get rid of all the headache with the charity, get rid of all the headache with me tech company. And I've put them together on this app. So this app is getting launched after the summer. And the app is a hybrid model of a non-profit and a profit. And what it's going to do, it's going to give every young person in the UK, it's actually just getting launched. It's going to be launched in Dubai as well, a guaranteed work placement. Wow. It's also got the access to my LMS and all my training. So they can come on. So if they're on job seekers, so it'll be meeting the criteria for job seekers really, and the same like eligibility criteria. So we're not getting people just using it, when they're not vulnerable or they're not in that situation. And they can self-develop themselves by all the courses. So you're better empowerment, better motivation, self-worth. They can do their own self-progression in terms of professional development. And the courses are all on the training matrix. You have the app you go on. You can filter the area, the sector. It's also made for the neurodiversity and the cohort of people that are affected by neurodiversity. So, and it's also for, equality and diversity. So we know what job businesses, what job places can cater for like hearing impairment, speech impairment, disability.
It's taken the decades, isn't it, of your experience, your passion, the mistakes, right, along the way, the naughty bits, right?
It's always got to be naughty. But I'm fun. I'm fun. I'm a little pranker, and it's like I'm not going to take that away because I'm cheeky, and I get very far with my cheekiness because my heart's always in the right place. But the app is I've just joined forces with Stuart Trevor, so he was the founder of we'll get to Jim Shark in a minute. He was the founder of All Saints and Reese, and we're doing free clothing for young people as well for the interview. So we're hitting sustainability, we're hitting social impact, and on the other side of things, we have a subscription model for businesses. It's cheap as chips, cheaper than anything else, to access the training for their own companies, but it will fund the app. So that's the app. It's going to go for the Nobel Peace Prize, and that's where I'm up to with my life. So I've come full 360, I've put everything together, I'm working smarter, and I'm going to make national impact, and I'm going to make global impact, and that's Jill.
And what makes Jill happy?
Do you know what? That's probably a question that I can't answer, because I don't know anymore. But I know when I see someone's life change, do you know what? All I want now is to go home. That's it. I'm going to cry again.
with the family. To go
home, because I haven't been the mum that I want to be. So that's what I want to be.
Make time. It's the biggest gift, isn't it?
Yeah.
The biggest gift for you.
I'm going to kill you, Simone. I've been an emotional wreck. Everyone thinks I'm like a boardroom boss bitch. And now I'm like a blubbering like...
But do you know what? This is your superpower, vulnerability. The vulnerability when people think you're all over it. It's okay.
It's okay. Because I'm still amazing.
It's okay to go, you know what? Actually, this has been tough. Or I've made mistakes. Or this is this. Or I'm excited or I'm giddy about that.
I'm a wife. I'm a business owner.
But
I'm everything. And do you know what?
And in one sentence, and this is going to be impossible, I'm looking at your daughter over here. I mean, it's never going to happen, is it? Right? You are spinning plates. You're constantly spinning plates.
Them plates are very, very reduced.
Is that's got to be, I feel like that's a big tip from you, lose some of the plates.
And that's what I've been working on. So this app now is obviously bringing me two companies that I've got there together in one, and we are going...
Not about the app, about you, Jill.
My life is work, so I've got to reduce...
I get it.
This so I can have a life. So it's one thing, as I said, bringing it back to the beginning, everything comes at a cost. And now I'm ready. I've set my family up for life. When this app goes live, I'm probably going to be setting their families up for 10 generations down. This app's going to be... It's going to be worldwide. I've got the biggest names in the world involved in this app. And I'm ready to, over the next 2 years, really come away from everything. I'm ready, and you'll go, you'll never do that, but I'll always have my charity work.
I would never doubt you. I would never doubt you in one world. And I'm going to shout over the studio, Emmy. How would you describe your mum in a word?
Can Emmy see in a minute?
Yeah. Quick, come over, run over.
This is my daughter, everyone. This is my best friend, and she is me everything. Honestly.
Come here, come and sit on this side so you're close to the mic there. How would you
How
would you describe your mum in one word? Go into that microphone there.
Wild.
Well, I could not think of a better word to describe. You are the wild woman, but completely focused, vulnerable. And thank you for bringing your vulnerability to the Teal coach today. It's okay to be you. Please try and keep losing some of them plates, but make sure it's the big impactful ones, because that's what makes the difference. We'll watch the space. Yeah. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time, and all of a sudden there'll be another million things. But actually, I see it. It's purpose. Jill,
I just want everybody to support the app. It's called Succeed, and it'll be out after the summer holidays. And I'll keep in touch, and hopefully Simone will support that and get that out there.
Thank you.
And we're going to change lives of many young people
every day. Every day with intention. Jill, thank you for coming. Thank you for having me like you dragging you in. And there you go. Look, you see, it's all about giving people a platform and a stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review or follow us on socials. We are power_net on Insta, TikTok and Twitter. Or We Are Power on LinkedIn, Facebook. And We Are _power on YouTube.